damn, you're going to be sore.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 minutes is a lot of work.
Hey, this is Judy for StackHouse Nutrition and Fitness. In this episode, I have strength and conditioning coach Roy Bhamra from HumanXcellence talk about cardio, the biggest misconception he finds people have about cardio training versus high-intensity interval training, and his thoughts on the elliptical and treadmill for fat burning at the gym.
Well, cardio essentially is referred to as cardiovascular exercise, whether it be running or walking or using the elliptical. Basically, it's designed to strengthen the heart.
And what mistakes do you usually see people make with their understanding and implementation of cardio in their workout regimes?
Personally, I feel the biggest misconception is that more is better. A lot of people do excess cardio, which is very stressful on the body and can actually increase cortisol output, which can increase and lead to a host of problems, which include increased umbilical fat storage, inflammation within the body, and the worst of all is being an actual loss of lean body mass, which a loss of muscle tissue, which no one wants.
Yeah, and just in case people don't really know too much about cortisol, it's a stress hormone, and we did the last episode on that. So viewers can check that out. What's the difference between cardio and HIIT?
Cardio, I usually call it fat burn, is more of the low and slow mentality, meaning that you work at 50 to 65% of maximal heart rate. This differs for everyone, obviously, for extended periods of time. It is done virtually every training session. You see a lot of figure athletes and bodybuilders using this. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT as you referred to it, refers to high-intensity interval training, which is generally at 85% plus of maximal heart rate. Again, this differs for everyone. HIIT produces a far greater EPOC value, EPOC standing EPOC, which is excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which leads to better overall conditioning and metabolic optimization. It is generally done 2 to 3 times per week, again, depending on a client's conditioning.
Yeah, that kind of somewhat answers the next question, but I'll get you to elaborate. The next question being, which is more effective for fat burning, cardio or HIIT?
With not being biased towards either one, I personally like HIIT training. Both have their place in fat burning. I personally believe it depends on an individual's overall conditioning. If a client or an athlete is not conditioned very well, they're going to find HIIT training very, very difficult. Mm-hmm. So basically, a lot of it depends on conditioning of the client. HIIT training is by far the more difficult of the two and is better for cardiovascular conditioning. So you'll see a lot of like MMA athletes, just a lot of rugby players, a lot of football players using HIIT type training.
Mm-hmm. The last question would be regarding the elliptical and the treadmill, which you go to the gym and first thing you think of when you think of cardio is often the elliptical and treadmill, and you do see people on these machines on there for like half an hour and 40 minutes trying to burn some fat. So I just want to ask you, what do you think of these two machines, the elliptical and the treadmill, as effective fat burning machines at the gym?
Personally, if you're doing regular cardio or fat loss, the elliptical and the treadmill work fine. If you're going to do HIIT on them, the biggest issue with the elliptical is you're generally putting a lot more force onto your foot sole, driving your hip down, etc. So generally when you see people that do a lot of HIIT training on the elliptical, they'll end up with tight hip flexors, and a lot of them actually end up injuring their Achilles tendon due to a lot of tightness and flexibility in the lower gastroc or calf area. The treadmill, again with HIIT, is I prefer clients to run outside. The treadmill reduces the hip girdle stress and the hamstring pulling, so that hamstring activation is mitigated as the treadmill, the actual mill, the band on the mill pulls your leg back for you. Mm-hmm. So I would recommend people running outside if they're going to do HIIT training.